When you were little, you probably dreamed of how you could be the next star of your country, the guy who would take your country to the Olympics and lead them to the victory. You had all these dreams, big dreams when you were little, of playing sports at an elite level. Let me tell you, it is possible to play at the elite level and actually complete your dreams. All you have to do is become that elite player. And this is what it takes. But before we continue, hi, I'm Obi, and I'm here to guide you through your student athlete journey by sharing experiences from my own student athlete journey. As I was saying, it is possible to achieve your dreams of when you were little. That you can become maybe the next player for your country or the next player for a elite level team. All you have to do is actually log in. There's a bunch of things you have to do, from making sure you go to bed on time to waking up early, putting in practice, a bunch of sacrifices. It takes a lot to be at the elite level, and most people don't see it. You might see, let's say, Moni Nicolo at college level volleyball. You might see Wilfredo Leon representing Poland in the BNO finals and different volleyball tournaments. You may see Messi playing at top level teams and representing Argentina. Cristiano Ronaldo, everywhere they go, they're recognized. But what did they do to get there? Not only did they practice, but they put practice for practice. They put practice before practice. They made a bunch of sacrifices. They probably sacrificed, and I'm sharing this from my own personal experience as well. They've had to sacrifice, like social outings, like going out with friends, just because they had to go to training. They've had to sacrifice going out with friends because they had to go to bed on time because they want to play at a high level. They've had to sacrifice most friendships by moving across the world to play for different teams. And it's just a bunch of sacrifices that not everybody knows have been made and will be made, but that most people also don't want to make. You also have to sacrifice most of your own life into the sport, because it's not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play Thursday and I'm gonna do whatever I want next the rest of the week. No, if you're playing Thursday, you gotta put in practice Monday, practice Tuesday, practice Wednesday, practice even Thursday before the match. You gotta practice. And nobody talks about this either, but you gotta toughen up your mind, because in the field there's a bunch of stress and a bunch of different things that just target the atmosphere and make your mind go everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And if you don't have a hard mind, you will have a hard time actually going through any match. And that's the worst thing that can happen to you, because if you don't know what to do in a match, you'll be lost and you won't achieve anything. So you have to toughen up your mind. And how do you toughen up your mind? By doing it over and over again, by going into different matches, playing against this team, that team, every single team you can, playing and playing again. That's how you toughen up your mind, by going into the circumstance that makes your mind go numb, that makes your mind go soft, that doesn't let your mind breathe. That way your mind will learn to accommodate that stress. It'll be in the moment that it'll say, okay, none of this is toughening, loosening, or letting me go easily, so I gotta toughen up. And your mind will toughen up the more matches you play that are stressful. And once you manage that stress, you'll be able to be peaceful and calm throughout the stress and frustration and everything that happens during a match. Another thing that has like a bunch of weight on what you have to do to become an elite level athlete as a student athlete is learning. Learn from everything. If you win, learn from what you did wrong. If you lose, learn from the other team what they did right and correct what your team did wrong. If you fight a match till the end and lose, you gotta still manage and correct what you did wrong and learn from it. You gotta learn from others. I heard this saying once: a man learns from his own mistakes, but a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. In that same way, as a student athlete, you need to be like the wise man and learn from the mistakes of others. So if the other team is making some mistake, you gotta make sure you are not making that mistake. In my case, I saw a bunch of teams where I played at. They wouldn't know how to defend. So what did I do to learn from them? It's actually learning how to defend, how to receive a serve, how to receive a strong serve, how to receive a strong spike, how to move to know where they are gonna spike and actually receive the ball. And that learning actually pushes you through, and that's something else nobody else is gonna tell you. Learning from others is your biggest advantage, because if you only learn from your own mistakes, it'll take you forever to get to where you wanna be. So be wise and learn from other people's mistakes. Another thing that really has a big weight on whether or not you're gonna be an elite athlete is your nutrition. You gotta take responsibility over your nutrition. You can't just let it up to your mom or your dad or whoever's taking care of you. You gotta take responsibility for yourself, because not only is your nutrition important in the life of the student, of being an athlete and a student, but it's important for your life in general. Because if you're eating junk food or eating out every day, like let's say fast food or whatever, your body is not gonna be healthy at all. Yeah, you might look fit and you might say, oh, I eat hamburgers every day and I still have a six-pack and I'm still athletic. Yeah, and you might be, but what happens when you face the guy who's the same as you but actually eats healthy? You definitely lose, because he's actually managing his nutrition to boost his performance. Here usually you would have a nutritionist, but if you can't afford a nutritionist or whatever, you can do it yourself. Just research. We have the internet. The internet is one of the biggest tools we can use, and one of the biggest tools for student athletes, because you can research what is actually good for your body and what is actually good for you and what will boost your performance. Your nutrition is the biggest part as well. You gotta eat healthy. Carbohydrates, protein, and even fats. Everything is important. You can't just cut out carbohydrates. And you might say, oh, why? But carbohydrates make you fat. Yeah, they might, but they're also your energy as a student athlete. You cannot cut out carbs, because if not, you won't have performance. Carbs are the energy that boosts any athlete. Carbs are the energy that your body burns in any match, any training, anything. Carbs are the energy. Then you must also eat protein. You cannot just cut out protein, because you will lose muscle. That protein is the biggest part of it for recovery. And without recovery, you won't be an athlete. You need protein, to eat enough protein to recover and then build more muscle, because not always, but muscle equals how much protein you have eaten and how much work you have actually put in to break down your muscles. And it's the same for the gym, or whether you are an athlete or just going to the gym. Protein is important for recovery. And most importantly, fats. Let's say, yeah, you might think of fats as oils and all that. Yeah, that is bad, but healthy fats like avocado and those types of fats that are found in fruits and vegetables, those are healthy fats, and they actually help your body. The next point to actually become an elite athlete is taking care of your sleep. Sleep is also one of the biggest parts in your recovery, and if you don't recover properly, you will not play at your best. I have seen this myself. The days that I haven't slept before a match, I play horrible. I play the worse than if I would have slept enough hours. Sleep is one of the biggest parts of recovery. You need to sleep at least 7 to 12 hours every single day to actually be able to recover from what daily life takes away from you. And it's not easy to sleep 7 to 12 hours, because the average sleep nowadays is around 6 to 8 hours. And that is barely enough. As a student athlete, you actually need even more, because you're not only focusing on the athlete part of life, but you're also a student. You're burning calories and burning everything. You're burning your mind throughout the day, because you gotta do studies, you gotta play, you gotta do stressful things, you gotta go through life, everything. And your sleep is the moment your body recovers. And if you don't sleep enough, you'll be not recovering. And not recovering means you won't be performing at your best. So yeah, you have to sleep 8 to 12 hours at least to be able to recover enough and play at the best and elite level of your performance. And that's another thing that I didn't mention in sacrifice. There are moments where you're gonna have to either sacrifice your studies, or you'll have to sacrifice sleep, or you'll have to sacrifice a training, or you'll have to sacrifice outgoing with your friends or family, just because you have to actually manage to do everything. You gotta manage your nutrition, and you gotta probably sacrifice going out with friends to eat hamburgers, or going out with friends to mall, and probably eating, I don't know, junk food or whatever. You'll have to sacrifice that because you want to play at the elite level. And if you go out and eat that, that will not put you at the elite level. Going out and not sleeping at the time you're supposed to, and not sleeping your 8 to 12 hours, that will not help you, and that will not push you to your elite level. And yeah, this is what it takes to be an actual student athlete and actually be at the elite level. And that's gonna be all for today. Remember, Jesus Christ loves you. This is the only way to heaven. And do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Peace.